Hey YouTube, what's up? My name is Camilla Margot, also known as Aaron. I'm the creator and the host of the Aaron YouTube channel. I make videos about guitar. Today's video, I'm returning to my original content ideas and creating transgender content. So if you've been watching my content about guitars and you're new to my channel from that, I actually started off making content about transgender topics. Well, actually, I originally started making about reviewing disposable vapes. So that's really how I started YouTube, but I got known for my takes on transgender ideology, and I am a little bit shy because I haven't made one of these videos in a while. And I've talked about today's subject before, but it's going to be more in-depth, and I'm going to talk about it in a different manner and a different perspective than I have before. But with that being said, I'm going to be talking about something transgender related. So I am a transgender intersex woman. I will be stating that you cannot change your biological sex. You are born one way, you will die that way. And to think that otherwise is, I don't know, you're not very smart if you think you can change that. But I do think you can change everything else, and you're able to live as the gender you identify as. I'm going to be talking about breasts in transgender women today, growing them, and my experience with mine, what I think about mine, and what it's like. Also, my do I have cognitive dissonance towards it, or do I not? And how do I feel about this, over 10 years into hormones, looking back at it? Am I happy with my decisions? I'll talk about that. And don't worry about subscribing. I'm going to earn your subscription if you're new. I want to earn that. So I'm going to talk to you about my experience with hormones briefly, introduce myself to those that are new, and move on from there and just dig into today's topic and dive into it. It is growing breasts on hormone replacement therapy, and why I did not get a breast augmentation, and why I don't recommend them unless you need it. And even then, you have to maintain them, so they are high maintenance. They can be, and they're, you will have to get revisions at some point in your life. When you're 70, those can affect you. But anyhow, I'm going to move on and dive into the topic. Without further ado, growing breasts on hormones. When I began hormones, I began estradiol right before I turned 22. So I began androgen blockers when I was 20. So that was 2010, and then I started HRT, and for all intents and purposes, the very beginning of 2012. So I've been on hormones since 2012, and now it's 2025. So like 13 years on estradiol and 15 years on androgen blockers. So that's a long time. I've maxed out any growth that I would have gotten in my breast naturally from hormones. I have maxed out my growth. So this is going to be this is going to be an educational video. I am going to be talking about breasts. I am going to not show my breasts, but I'm going to show my body from different angles at the camera just to explain things. It's completely non-sexual, and it is not to promote any third-party website. I don't have those. I don't make adult content. I'm just trying to explain breast growth and hormones. So for me, I began hormones at 22 for all intents and purposes. I was 21, but I was just about to turn 22 when I started it. So I started at 22, and I was on them. And within the first 3 months, I thought I was growing breasts. I would ask my friends, I was with a group of friends, and I was in Lake Worth, Florida at the time, West Palm Beach, Florida. and I was on the intercoastal, and I was hanging out with some friends, and I asked them, I think that I have some breast growth. Do you all think so? And the general consensus was, no, you don't. And Aaron, you don't have breast growth. And I was let down because I thought that I did visually, and I didn't. It did by 9 to 12 months, I started to grow breast buds. I would say around like the year mark, you could definitely tell that hormones were affecting me. One of my issues was getting my estradiol levels high enough to grow boobs, and we'll get into that a little bit later, but I was on the pill. And the pill is only so effective because it's filtered through your body, and your body only absorbs so much estrogen through it. So when I began, I was taking two milligram estradiol pills a day, and 50 milligram Spiros for 3 months. And then I came back in, and there was like, a decrease in my testosterone for sure. And like, my estrogen had bumped up like 40 or 50 numbers. So it went from like 60 to like a 90 or 100. It wasn't super high. It was definitely a bit better. So she raised it to 6 milligrams of oral estrogen and bumped my T blockers to 100 milligrams of spironolactone twice a day. And I would say by a year to a year and a half on that dose, my breasts began lactating. So I started developing, my areolas started getting bigger. Right now, my areolas are about that big. And it wasn't always so. It took time, and they were stretching out. And I went to my gynecologist, and I asked her, I was there for my hormones, and I said, one thing I noticed is that my breasts seemed to be lactating, and you could like squeeze my boob, and it would pee, like it was like peeing. It would like squirt out like a penis would peeing, and you could just squeeze it, and it would just squirt out, and a stream of it would come out. I'm sorry if that's TMI. I'm just trying to explain something. And I was producing a lot of milk, and I was surprised by that. And I don't know why I was making it. I was not taking progesterone. I am intersex, so I do think that had something to do with it. And comment below if you lactated when you started HRT. I'm curious if anyone else did. I was heavily lactating for about a year. 2 years in on the pill, like I was filling out a B cup bra. Like I'm a 38 band when I'm like not overweight. So like currently, like I've been wearing a 38C, and I've lost weight, so I'm probably about a 36C, or I could still wear all my 38C bands and they fit fine. Me losing weight, my breasts have shrunken a little bit just due to weight loss, but what's weird is what most people assume with trans women is that you will assume genetically you will be 1 cup size less than your mother. That's kind of like a rule of thumb in the trans community, is that when you are a trans woman, breasts are genetic, and breast size can be is generally correlated with your genetics. So if your mother has a larger chest, then you're more likely to develop larger breasts. And if your mother has a smaller chest, you're more likely to have smaller chest as well. Now, my mother wears a 38B cup, and she has smaller breasts. And on my dad's side of the family, my aunt has larger breasts, my cousin has larger breasts. And so I developed bigger boobs than my mom, and I never would have expected that, and that was all on hormones. I would say around the year 5 to 6 is where my breast growth kind of peaked to that 38C. I'm glad that I did not get an augmentation in the first 7 years of my transition, because it's very easy to run out and get a surgery, especially if your insurance covers it. it's very easy to run out and get a surgery when you want breasts. It's because dysphoria makes you want your transition to look better, and it makes you want like certain things like facial feminization surgery or gender reassignment surgery or breast surgery, top surgery. That makes you want that stuff done already. You want it now, and you have no patience in it for when you're experiencing bad gender dysphoria. So, like, I went to a local transgender support group in Lake Worth, Florida, and this one woman would come in, and she had started HRT, and she couldn't wait to get breast implants, and she was like a year on hormones, and she ran out and got an augmentation and came in with big boobs, and about 3 or 4 years later, her natural breasts had grown, and she ended up having to get her her implants removed because of her natural breast growth. It became unnatural. They were uneven. It looked horrible. Like, she showed me her breasts naturally, like naked, just like as a friend, and was asking for like advice, like what should I do? And she had to get the implants removed. So it's important not to rush into surgeries. I recommend seeing a therapist. Like, I'm not giving medical advice. I'm just sharing my experiences. Someone who transitioned 15 years ago. A lot of people that have been doing it 5 years or less don't know how things were when people did it 15, 20 years ago. The mindset of the community, like, we used to fight to not have labels, and now, like, there's like 68,421 different genders. So it's changed a lot, and I don't like that. But that's besides the point. So breast development, don't run out and get an augmentation until you've at least been on hormones 5 years. Like, if you have no breast development and you're 5 years on hormones and you're still an A cup with basically no development, like, I understand. I would probably go get one too if I was in that situation. I hate when people drive by so loud. But yeah, I mean, if you have essentially no breast development and you've been taking it for, 3, 4, 5 years and nothing is showing, I would consider a breast augmentation. Like, that would make sense. But if you've been on medicine for 3 or 4 years and you've got a decent chest, you don't know how much more that's going to develop. Now that I'm going to segue into the second section of this topic. What happens when you go from the pill to the shot? Going on injections is like HRT 2.0. It can take an already transitioned trans woman and make her look like 50% even more passable than she already was. It can make someone who's been on the pill 10 years grow a little bit more breast growth. It optimizes. It's like looks maxing your transition, because it's like a truly HRT 2.0. It's way more effective than the pill or the cream or any of the other options you would have for HRT. The shot truly is the direct source, and you will have changes. So, at least from my experience, I was on the pill for 9 or 10 years, and then I switched to the shot. And for the first year of the shot, I feminized. My face became more feminine again. My breasts grew a little bit more. My body fat redistributed a little bit more. 10 years into my transition, and I had been complacent for 5 years. Like, years 1 to 5, I did all my changes. Years 5 to 10 was the same, no changes, except procedures I had done. And then years like 10, 11, 10 through 13 specifically, I went through so many changes on the shot. Like, my breasts got a little bit bigger, my fat redistributed a bit again. I had my face changed again. Like, it had already changed on hormones to feminize, but it even got more feminine. My body fat redistribution even got more feminine. I got so much more feminine on the shot. The pill, I was like, I will never take the pill again, because the shot is so much more effective. So it made my breasts grow. Like, not saying that it truly made me have to get a different bra, but my breasts did grow a little bit. And I could go to up to a 38D cup in some bras now. And now that I've lost weight, I can't. But I'm probably a 36C now due to my weight loss. I'm going to show you some side profiles of me so that to give you an idea of what HRT can do. This is non-sexual. This is educational. I'm not wearing a bra, but I'm doing this for educational purposes. So yeah, this is it basically. So this is all from hormones. So you can not wearing a bra for this, but I am wearing pasties. You can basically develop a chest from hormones like that. And it's basically not something that you have to put any effort into getting top surgery. If your body is naturally developing in the chest area, one other area I'll show you is also like my thighs, like without spreading my legs. Like, I carry a lot of weight in my thighs and in my bottom, like this part of my body, from here, and here. I carry a lot of weight in that area, so I have to exercise so I don't get fat in that area. So that's like one area where you begin to carry your weight in that area, as opposed to here and here. You carry a lot less weight. Like, my arms have become so skinny. Now I've lost weight. Now I have all this extra skin under my arm. Like, realistically, my arms are so much smaller than they were before I lost 45 pounds since January. And I had to go through treatment and came out of, and I'm no longer sick anymore. Thank God for that. It was a miracle for me. And now that I'll be back making content, the original Aaron content on my channel, hopefully I'll be uploading on a more frequent basis. But I wanted to talk about breast growth specifically in this video. And a lot of people think that taking progesterone will help with breast growth, and I don't know about the validity to that. But I really appreciate you watching my video. Please check out some of my other videos if you haven't below. I have several videos on this topic. If you haven't subscribed, I hope that I've earned your subscription, so please subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Give me a thumbs up, and if you have any questions, please comment below. I do read those all. I will respond to your comment if you have a question. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.